The Candido High County Board of Commissioners is back from closed session pursuant to Minnesota Statutes 13D.05, subdivision 3B, where we discussed pending litigation, and we have at this time consideration of a proposed settlement agreement and release. And I will move to authorize the board chair to sign the mediated settlement agreement and release in a form approved by our attorney, Kendra Olson. The settlement agreement resolves all claims that could have been made by Otis King in his pending lawsuit and is not an admission of fault, but resolves the case along with our insurer, MCIT, in the most fiscally responsible way. I would look for a second to that motion.
I'll second that, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Any questions? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That motion passes. Kendra, thank you for helping us with this matter. Oops. All right.
Thank you very much.
At this time, are there any administrative updates, appointments, anything of that nature?
Actually, I would just like to give an update on PAC4 for Families.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I just wanted to share that we've had quite a week this past week, among other things happening, I guess, in the world. But in PAC4 received on Tuesday, a week ago, that they got 2 emails, one at 7 at night, one at 11 at night after that, terminating 2 of our SAMHSA grants. And they totaled $1.2 million. And the termination was immediate. And so there was no option to appeal it, so we did not know what was actually going on. But because of meeting laws and so forth, we did have a meeting to try to discuss some plans the next day. Because there are several, we have quite a few staff on there that are being employed, and thus their salaries stopped that day. And we had to figure out budget-wise how we afford that and all that. So we were really caught off guard at just not expecting this, because we anticipated possibly we may not get those grants renewed. And we got them renewed, and that was great. So out of the clear blue. Not that we did not realize that we thought we just got singled out here at PAC4 for Families, and it wasn't. Apparently, they terminated $2 billion in SAMHSA grants. The interesting thing is then, 2 days later, at night, she was still getting, the administrator of the agency still was getting emails about how to close this out, because we had 120 days and they needed these forms filled out this way. And then I think it was around 11 o'clock again at night, she got another email saying, oh, we're resending that. and the good news is we're whole again. But it went through a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety. I mean, there was people in tears, you know. I mean, these social workers were working with kids, and these kids have these families, and the trauma that hit them, but all in 48 hours, and it was new again. I mean, it was just really a sad way to deal with grants. At least I'll give you a heads up. And makes you kind of worry as we go forward in government. You never know when these grants can just disappear like that, or funding can just disappear. So, but I just wanted to share with you, we didn't know anything about that.
Thank you for that, and you had made me aware of this chaos, and sorry that everybody had to go through that. Does anyone else have anything that they wish to bring?
I just have a question. Do we have any, does anybody remember what positions on advisory boards are open? Are there any? I think Extension still has 2.
Yeah,
openings?
Yeah, I still gotta get some people too.
Yep. I can go through that and send them.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then if you do know, like, is it a
Yeah.
district appointment, like say it's from Dale's district or
It'd
Dwayne?
be hard.
Yeah, I can do that.
I think planning and zoning, I think is,
I think you filled out.
there was 2,
Is it Ben or Blake?
Ben and
Vicky.
Vicky Davis, yep.
Be a fun one to be on.
All right. right, anyone else have anything for the good of the order? Kelsey, go ahead,
Just
yes.
administratively, I'll be sending out either this week or next week. I met with the board chair, a questionnaire for my review, which will be held at the February 17th board meeting. Just so you're all aware of that, and then you can work with the board chair on that.
Okay.
All right, and we'll talk offline about a couple of things to schedule. Of course, we still have the consideration of the shotgun versus rifle. And we'll be looking at having a listening session for that, and we'll figure out some dates and make sure that that's going to work for all of us up here as well as our staff. Anything else?
So, Steve, are we proposing the listening session and a hearing associated with the proposed ordinance, or just go straight to the ordinance and?
Listening session prior. So that would be on, the way I've envisioned this is, it would be a separate thing where we take in input from our community members who are interested in this topic. And then we would then entertain a ordinance at one of our regular meetings.
We have that downstairs or something then? Is that?
It would seem to me that we
Then if
would
we do
probably
the
need,
ordinance, then we have to do another public hearing.
there would be a public, during the ordinance presentation.
Would it be more efficient just to go straight to an ordinance and then do the public hearing?
You don't have to do it.
We don't have to do an ordinance if you're hearing from your constituents. There's some counties that aren't acting on an ordinance at all. I just got an email regionally. Shoot, I should have that pulled up. That some counties aren't even going to be doing an ordinance based off public input.
Because if we hear from the public input that isn't the direction they want us to go, we don't have to do an ordinance or do anything with it, because it's state law right now.
Yep.
We've been doing a lot of, we've been getting a lot of public input already.
Yep.
I mean, so we just, based on what I got, we make a decision at this point, but I want to hear from more if possible.
So would that be, are you envisioning that to be like an evening meeting or, different day than our board meeting, or what do you envision?
I would say yes and yes.
So we probably should get that scheduled sooner rather than later, because I think May 1st is the deadline.
Right. So we can, we'll do a doodle poll or something. We'll pull up a couple of things that work for, a couple of dates that work for staff. And then,
Stearns County, they're not, April 7th, yep, they're gonna be hold a hearing.
They're holding their board meeting in Melrose in the evening, and then the hearing. Or no, it might not be the evening, it might be.
Douglas County hasn't taken any action.
Hope County had a hearing during their board meeting and they decided to wait. That was what I heard from them.
Stevens County is not looking at moving forward with an ordinance. Yes, in Polk County, the Polk County administrator was the one that sent the email to kind of gauge where other regional counties were coming in at. Most of them either have a listening session or a work session with DNR present to help explain things. So if you did the listening session, I think we would try to get the DNR to be present there to provide feedback. I think the only benefit I do see with the listening session is if you do choose to not move forward with an ordinance then. That is the only exception. If you are leaning more towards an ordinance, then I would say you probably wouldn't have to have the listening session, or if you feel that you've heard from a lot of your constituents. But I think it's your call. But I don't see a negative thing to have any negative points to have a listening session either. I think it aligns with some of our strategic plan in having more public engagement, that I think this board has talked about, and so I don't, think that's a good step if you were to choose to do that.
We'd have to have a board, after this listening session, a board just meeting with a quorum, of course, and make a decision, do we have an ordinance?
Yeah, so you'd have the listening session, and then at the next board meeting, the board would decide what direction it wants to take the input that they've received, and if they want to do an ordinance or whatever it is that the board wishes to do. Okay, Dwayne?
Yeah, so it's not a one-time thing either, so if we don't do anything this year, oops, we can always, put in an ordinance in the future, I mean, or we can change, or if we do put in an ordinance, we can always say we don't own it,
And-
it's harder to.
And if we don't, it stays as a rifle then, right?
It, reverts to rifle.
All right, so,
Just one last question. I think we should make sure that we consider all forms of communication, not just who shows up at a hearing that day.
that's correct. Yeah, because we're all getting, I'm
We're
sure,
getting a lot of
mostly the same emails.
We just have one group show up.
So-
We're seeing,
Force.
Maybe if we could come with some dates at the February 3rd meeting, so that we could get something scheduled, or I can add it
I
to.
think we should wait, because between functions that we have going on, or vacations, or whatever, to find a date that,
Cause you had originally said,
I mean, we can do it with a doodle poll, but,
Stephen mentioned February 23rd or 24th, is that the week you're looking
I
at?
won't be here.
And you're gone. I can send out an email too.
yeah,
To the
I
five.
think we should,
Okay.
do it
Some
earlier
dates.
rather than later, because if we do move forward with a proposed ordinance, then we have to have the
have
public
the ordinance
hearing.
drafted in the public hearing, yeah.
Okay.
All right, anything else?
The 23rd?
My brothers.
All right, hearing nothing else, I will declare the Candidac County Board of Commissioners meeting to be adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Yep.